Golden Armor Energize!
Digimon Golden Armor Digimon 2!
Magnemon! It's Morphin' time! If you're looking for Magnemon or any other Digimon model kits, check out HobbyLink Japan. Use the link in the description to help support the channel. Hello, this is Sanat here, and welcome to my review of Figurized Standard Magnemon. Now, this is the first Figurized Standard kit to be based on Digimon Adventure 02, as opposed to the original Digimon Adventure, and the third release in the line after War Greymon and Metal Garurumon, who I've previously reviewed on the channel, so check those out if you haven't. Here's the box. I think the box art is generally a little bit plain. It is, you know, just Magnemon going, hey, I'm here. But that's just because Magnemon, he's had very limited appearances. But you can see, you know, standard Bandai model kit box stuff on each side, looking all cool. But let's get to the exciting part. Let's look at Magnemon, because this guy hasn't had an action figure in about 20 years. So Magnemon is the Golden Armor evolution of Veemon from Digimon Adventure 02. Veemon, of course, is Davis's partner, and he is the main protagonist Digimon for the team. And also what's really cool about him is he only appeared in 2 instances in 02. The first time was in the Hurricane Touchdown movie, which was 02's first movie, and then he appeared later in episode 20 of the series, so he's had a couple of appearances there. Later versions of Magnemon appeared as part of the Royal Knights in things such as Digimon Cyber Sleuth and other media, so he's had a prominent role. That being said, this guy has not had many figures. In fact, I think outside of the Digivolving figures of the original release of the show, I don't know of too many others since. So this is actually pretty cool to finally have. It's also nice to get a Figurized Standard kit that is not just a anime version of an amplified kit. So this is the first time we've gotten a Magnemon model kit. And I think he turned out great. Looking at his proportions, I think overall, he's got kind of that nice, like, sort of lankiness that a Veemon Armor Digivolution should have. Flamedramon was also kind of, like, lanky as well. Because you can see sort of behind the gold armor, you have sort of an adult Veemon look going on with the longer legs and the torso and the way the head's done and the arms and all that. So I think that's definitely cool. And in terms of the actual like plastic color, I think the gold is nice. It's a similar gold to what was used on the Millennium Puzzle model kit for Yu-Gi-Oh! That Bandai also produced. So it's a pretty nice gold color. And in terms of overall details, what I found really impressive, again, like I've said with the previous Figurized Standard kits, is there's a lot of plastic separation. So, you know, pretty much everything you see is plastic separation from different pieces of plastic. But the stickers include the eyes, which are actually underneath this helmet piece, which actually gives it nice depth. There was stickers on top of these little gray circles, even though there are gray plastic pieces underneath. There was also stickers for his thumbs, which makes sense just because they wouldn't have a separate molded piece for the thumb. And then the other stickers are on the back of his legs where these sort of wire things are. And that's also not too bad because you're not going to see that from the front. But even looking from the back, he looks pretty good. You can plug a stand in there just to lift him off the ground if you have a reason to. He did fly around a lot in his appearances, so it does make some sense. So there's a nice little standard stand port for either an action base or like a Tamashii stage. So overall, pretty nice. Like, there was details like this, which I'm always impressed by, because that is a separate molded piece of plastic pushing through the slots. So it's really cool to see, because I think Bandai's gotten really good at color separation on their model kits, especially when it's Figurized Standard. And then overall, his articulation is also pretty good. He's a pretty decent action figure. So we got the head, it's got a ball joint at the base of the neck, a ball joint at the top of the neck, so you can get all kinds of cool angled poses. His shoulders move out, they move 360. They have a butterfly joint, so they move forward like that. They go out, the bicep swivels, the elbow bends. You can also rotate the armor below the elbow, and then the wrist is a ball joint, and then the shoulders are on a ball joint, and then the panels also can move up like that. The upper torso ball joint, lower torso ball joint, both work pretty good. The skirt pieces can pop off if you push them a little too far. So your range, pretty much your range with the hips is about that far, because you go any further and you're popping those off. But the actual hips do have farther range beyond just those side skirts. You got a thigh swivel, you got a single joint knee that goes pretty decent, and you got forward and back and left and right on the feet, so you can get a lot of adjustment there, which is pretty good. And then to top it all off, his tail as well has movement. It is just simply on a ball joint, and that is pretty good. So you can actually get some pretty good poses out of this guy. Most of what Magnamon does is fly around and punch, because he's got... Oh yeah, by the way, there's also some incredible thruster detail under here for the actual like thrusters below the skirt pieces. Just really, really cool stuff that I really appreciate. And so when it comes down to it, you can actually pose this guy pretty good, and you can have him ready to fight, and you can, you know, sort of have something like that. So you can have Magnamon ready for battle. You could have him kind of posed with his arms stretched out, as we see, you know, that sort of thing. And he looks pretty good doing it. I think in terms of Magnamon, the only thing he could have come with is like maybe some extra hands just to add to him, but he's honestly fine with the fists, because that's what we mostly see him as in his limited appearances. So in terms of comparisons, I did want to show the Figurized Standard Magnamon with what I believe is the previous Magnamon figure, the Bandai of America Digivolving armor Digivolving figure here. So this guy, this big chunky guy, turns into the Digi-Egg of Miracles. And yeah, I mean, if you look at it, we've gotten a long way from this. Magnamon's always had these big armor plates, but they were really big here because they had to encapsulate his entire body. Same with the feet just being gigantic. This was the last Magnamon release. There was a Japanese version, which featured a fully formed Vmon that was part of a Flamedramon set that you bought the Magnamon as an armor pack, whereas Bandai America went with this option to have the eggs transform straight into the Digimon. So when you have those, so technically this one was released second, and I don't believe there's any other action figures. I know there were some like little vinyl figures, you know, sort of PVC minifigures and some other like assorted merchandise, but in terms of straight up action figures, I don't know of any between this one. And this came out in 2000, and this came out in 2022. So this is 22 years between Magnamon figures. So it's nice to finally get an updated Magnamon. Especially because this guy, as nostalgic as he is, and I've had him since childhood, he don't pose well. I mean, all that armor stuff, he looks like he's swimming in it. So this is really nice to see this anime accurate one. And then the only other size comparison I think that's worth doing is with the Figurized Standard WarGreymon and Metal Garurumon, since these are the previous two in this lineup. I think he's a good size. You can see he's a little bit smaller than WarGreymon, which I don't know if that's totally accurate, but that's just how they've gone with it. Digimon scaling can get a little weird, but I think Magnamon's a good size, putting them next to these other two. They look like they're in the same lineup, and they're roughly in the same scale, which is pretty cool to see, especially since with the upcoming Dukemon slash Gallantmon, who will probably be in the same size class as well, and we'll see how that turns out when he comes out, and I will review him eventually, along with the very hotly anticipated and teased Angemon, who was shown at the end of a promotional video recently. So, very cool stuff with the Digimon model kits. I definitely like Magnamon's size with the others, and I like that these kits are just nice, simple, anime-styled model kits for Digimon, which is pretty much all I could have ever asked for. Okay, so let's do some unrelated sort of comparisons outside of the model kit lines, because, you know, it's not like I'm trying to fill out video time because this video is way too short or anything. Anyways, here is the D-Arts Black WarGreymon, so you get kind of an idea of where D-Arts slash Figuarts stand in the normal size. And then, of course, we've got Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode, who is the SH Figuarts release. So you can see that Magnamon, you know, he's going to be between those two sizes. And yeah, actually I said unrelated comparisons, but both of these are Digimon Adventure 02 things, so that fits. But you can see that Magnamon sort of does fit in that size class a bit. Yeah, Digimon scaling is always a little bit weird. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking at your Magnamon to your Black WarGreymon to your Imperial Dramon, it's not too bad. Though we are still striving for a Digimon toy line that has everybody in anime scale, because yeah, that's never happened once. But on that, of course, we got those. I did go ahead and dig out the old Bandai America Digivolving Flamedramon, just so you can see size-wise there. Since Magnamon was about the same size as his Digivolving counterpart, he does look good with the other Vmon Digi armor. I don't have my Raidramon. He is somewhere in storage, but Flamedramon here, looking pretty nice next to him. It would be nice to get like a Flamedramon model kit, because I really do like the way this was done. But you know, things for the future. Of course, we're just going to do some great little comparisons here. Totally just what everyone's looking for, right? Him next to his Magnamon X Antibody card from the trading card game. I might be filling time a little too much. I don't have the normal Magnamon, I just have the X Antibody. But look, see, he is taller than a trading card game card. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Like bringing in the American D3 in the blue color, because that would be the VMon color. And this is the one I've had since I was a wee child. And I actually have like a weird faint memory of having this at Disney World even. You know, I took this thing everywhere when I was, gosh, 6. Anyways, yeah, it's been a while since 02 came out, but looking at it, you know, you can see he's twice as tall as the D3. Oh, if you think this is bad. Yeah, here is the Digimon Figure Collection VMon. I don't really know what I was planning to show off here besides just, hey, look, I got a lot of VMons. There's the Sani Boeki plush I used in the opening. Who is taller? Here we go, there's something bigger. I might like VMon quite a bit. It might be because as much as I did watch Adventure 1 when it aired, Adventure 2 was kind of my jam, because I think I caught that from the beginning, where Adventure 1 I sort of caught, you know, secondhand, not at the start. I think I started watching around the Gatomon stuff. But anyways, point is, I like VMon. He's great. He's just a cool Digimon, and I like 02 a lot. So this Magnamon kit is just something I really love, which is why I made this whole video, just to show off Magnamon, even though my Digimon model kit reviews usually do really, really terrible view count-wise. But here we go! Love and passion. It's what drives me doing Digimon, I guess. So that does it for this review. Overall, I would recommend the Magnamon model kit if you are looking for a figure of Magnamon, because there really is no better choice. This is absolutely just a fantastic figure, and it's a pretty simple model kit. I built this one in under 2 hours, so it doesn't take too long, especially since he's not a super amount of pieces, but he does look really, really nice. Like I said, stay tuned for future videos, so be sure to subscribe, hit the like button while you're down there, and leave a comment down below and tell me which Figurized standard kit they should make next, since we know that Gallantmon is coming out and then Angemon's been teased. What beyond that would you like to see? Also, be sure to kind of check out my other videos on Digimon on the channel. The YouTube algorithm ain't kind, and a lot of those videos end up getting skipped over, so give them some love if you would. I'd really appreciate it. Also, be sure to check out Hero Club at hero-club.com for Digimon news and more, and my awesome graphic designer on Twitter at darkclaw643. And until next time, this is Sent Out saying goodbye.